Ladies, what are 2 deal breaker characteristics in a man? We'll start with you. We'll go around the table. Go ahead.
2 deal breakers. Man. That one sounds a hard one. I feel like I need... Does anyone have one that's like at the top of their head?
What about you?
A deal breaker.
2 deal breakers.
2.
If you can.
I would say like disrespect, just undermining.
Okay, being disrespectful.
Yeah, just disrespectful.
Anything
and
else?
Maybe, yeah, just disrespectful to not only myself but people around them. That's something that I don't like. And then maybe just not being loyal. I think everybody should be loyal.
I would say for me, it would have to be someone who respects and serves God above themselves.
Yo, Sky, thank you for the gift and 20 memberships. So these are deal breakers.
Yeah, if they don't do that. If they don't respect God above themselves and serve God above themselves, because then I can't trust them to be loyal to the family or me.
Sure. Thank you, Sky.
And then I would say if they're not like a genuinely kind just person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Renee, anything come to mind?
If they have no passions in life.
No passions.
Like they just want to work a desk job or something.
So they need to be ambitious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just like to have something that you like doing besides making money.
What about video games? What if they're passionate about video games?
At least they're passionate about something. Okay, I meant more like career-wise. Like they're passionate about a certain career path.
Huh,
yeah.
Okay. Was there another one? Another deal?
If they can't dress.
They can't dress? What do you mean? Like no style?
Yeah.
Or?
I mean, I guess I could fix that. That one's like more of a joke. I don't know if they're...
Okay. You need like a super
if
stylish...
they're disloyal. I don't know. It's all like kind of the same, yeah.
I think a deal breaker for me would be if he's like a mama's boy. I don't really like whenever their mom... Like, if they're like super mama's boy and like kind of like acting feminine, I feel like.
Okay.
And then also if they watch like adult content or anything like that.
Okay. It's a deal breaker if they watch porn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't
you do porn?
She used to.
No,
right?
I did it for 2 months back in 2022, and I haven't done it in like since then. So.
Is that what informed that deal breaker?
Huh?
Is that what informs the deal breaker?
Sorry, what do you mean?
Like, is it because you did that you see that now as like a huge...
I think even before that, before I even started that, I was in a relationship with this one guy, and it kind of started then, so way before all that, and I like knew that he would watch it, and it would make me really upset, so.
Oh.
Wait, even while you were...
No, that was way before that, yeah.
Well, but what do you think is a bigger deal breaker? A guy who watches porn or somebody who used to do porn?
I don't know. It just depends on who the guy is, because some people have like moved on completely from their lives and erased that completely and like, rebuilt themselves. So
the internet's forever though, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I already dated a porn star, so I kind of know what that's like. So I mean.
Well, I'm not really framing the question from your point of view in terms of, is it a deal breaker for you to date a porn star or an ex-porn star? I'm saying, do you think it's a bigger deal breaker or red flag, perhaps from the guy's perspective, to date someone who used to do porn versus from the girl perspective to date somebody who currently consumes porn?
I probably would say, like, if you're still actively watching it and it's like still a habit and a part of your life, I would say that's probably worse than.
Let's say the consumption is just average.
What is average to you?
Once a week.
Once or twice a week.
No. I don't.
No what?
No porn. Like, I just don't want.
No. But what's the bigger deal breaker? Like, if you were to compare the two.
Or let's try.
It just, like I said, it just kind of depends. Like, I don't.
Well, let's try to frame it a different way, maybe.
Go ahead.
Let's assume if you had to give an answer on a man's dating preference, and you asked him, would you rather have a woman who consumed porn once a week or once every other week versus one who used to star in porn? Which would you rather have? What do you think he'd say?
I think he'd probably go after the girl who just watches it.
Yeah. So what do you think the delineation is? Is it informed again by the fact that you used to do it, and so you're just kind of hoping that that's the case?
No, that's like a boundary I have. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, but is it informed by the fact that you used to do it?
No, like I said, it started way before that in my first relationship with my first boyfriend. So it kind of started then.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get an answer to my question, though?
No, you still did
I'm sorry,
not.
I'm really nervous.
The reason I framed that up, though, was so if we turn this around, kind of show why would your standard be so much different than what their standard
Yeah, but
would
my
be?
point of view is just different from everyone's here because no one's done porn. So that's just...
Right, so then it
kind
informs your standard. That's my whole point.
I guess so.
Yeah, okay.
I guess the reason I'm asking is because I don't know if there's a specific term for this. You're not really coming to the table. I don't know if clean hands is the right term, but you're not like, you used to do porn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if you're coming to the table with certain potential deal breakers or red flags or baggage, doesn't it mean, well, I guess you can desire anything in a partner, but doesn't it would occur to me that you have to give a little leeway to the potential partners that you're capable of getting.
I guess so. So you're just saying, like, let my boyfriend watch porn, or?
Well, you're entitled to have that preference.
That's not what he's saying at all. He's just saying, if your preference 180 degrees is that you think that men would prefer a woman who consume porn once a month or once a week versus dating somebody who is in porn, then couldn't you understand why the preference in reverse would be the same?
I can totally understand that, yeah.
Yeah, that's
from my own experience.
So
yeah.
you were bothered by a boyfriend you had watching porn, and then you decided to go do porn.
Yeah.
So what
Wait,
do you think the psychology?
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
What do you
That was
think?
the sequence of
Like,
events.
I'm trying to analyze the psychology here, like the psychology of, like, okay, so she was upset that her boyfriend was watching porn, which in a woman's mind, they might
Well,
feel
you
like
sure showed him.
they're being cheated on, right? Like, it felt like a betrayal, like he's
Definitely,
cheating
yeah.
on you, right? And then her response then is, were you guys broken up when you started doing the porn, or were you together when you started doing?
No. We were broken up, and then I did it like 2 months after that. Yeah.
Was that you said your new relationship that?
So I met my last partner in the industry. So
Do you think that him watching the porn made you feel like those other girls who were doing the porn were better, and that you wanted to then go do that because he found that more interesting than you?
I'm just religious, so I think if you lust like a lot, that it's just kind of like a sin, and you should probably just work on that.
It's you guys get what I'm saying, right? Like, it's kind of interesting here to see that, you know, she then pursued that.
It's very ironic.
But
I don't know if it's ironic. It's kind of interesting to understand the psychology of what gets a girl to go down the path of OnlyFans.
Money.
Yeah, it was
Well,
primarily
it's not just
money too.
I think that there's psychological and emotional reasons
Definitely.
behind this stuff too.
I also don't have a father.
Was the money a necessity, or was it just something like, oh, I just want
Added
more
benefit.
money? Yeah, added benefit.
I was like living completely on my own in my own apartment, and so I had been struggling mentally for like quite a few months, I feel like that. So
Right.
and it was just kind of like, I don't know, someone messaged me and was like, hey, you want to make
Yeah,
$20,000?
you want to make a bunch of money so you can go buy shit you want. You're like, yeah.
And of course, 19-year-old me, I lived on my own. No, none of my parents have ever helped me out financially.
We are going to move on. Just one deal breaker, please, if you can. One deal breaker in a man.
Passivity/femininity.
Passivity / what do you mean?
Just being a big wimp baby, having me to be the man. I think it's gross. I think it's disgusting. I think you should act like an adult, be an adult, care for me.
Unless they're sick.
Yeah, well, of course.
Even
yeah.
a cold is level 10.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
this.
no, I know. I love cooking for him and caring for him and everything. But it's like it's a mutual thing.
They'll kill a grizzly bear, but if they have a cold,
Yeah.
Yeah, we all
Way it
know
goes.
men like to be babied when they're sick.
Well, I think that's because their body's like completely breaking
Yes.
down from the 10 billion things that they've been overworking
Right.
themselves to do.
Yes.
Right, and that's what
And
women
then
are
they
supposed
just
to
can't
do.
handle it anymore. And
Yeah.
then the wives are like, "You're being such a baby." It's like, I'm about to die.
Yes.
That's actually good point. Good point. One deal breaker.
A deal
in a
breaker,
man.
I would say, there's a couple, but I would say probably not having a good relationship with God and and essentially that's up there. But as far as like other more personal ones, is any type of sign of not being loyal or cheating.
Sure.
Things
What
like
about you?
Someone who has vice.
A vice.
I mean,
Like,
a pretty
is-
substantial, not like
Is
a
smoking cigarettes?
no, something that would make me the mistress and them the wife, or the
Wait.
family, like
What?
Like drugs, you mean?
yeah, just something that completely
Like a heroin addict?
Okay.
Okay.
well, just something that would break apart like the
Okay.
dynamic
Yeah.
and safety.
Okay.
Kind of
Into the
following
mic.
what she said. I think somebody that parties too much and
Too much partying? Okay.
yeah, and then also just no goals in life or like career aspirations. I feel like there are a lot better things that you could be doing with your time,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that it's unattractive when your partner has no drive.
All right, Andrew, a deal breaker.
For women?
Sure.
I'll give you.
swap it.
I'll give you two easy ones.
Okay.
Cruelty to children and the elderly. Deal breakers. Massive deal
definitely
breakers.
definitely
yeah,
deal
this
breaker.
is like for anyone, right?
Yeah.
No,
Like
not for
literally.
anyone.
Definitely
It's
a deal.
particularly like I think you look at the nurturing or what you consider the nature of a woman to be nurturing. You know, you find some women who talk shit about kids. Maybe you don't, but in these circles you find them all the time. Antinatalist, people like this, actually mock children, mock what they call breeders, mock what they call women who actually take care of their children, mock motherhood. All right. One of the representations of the view that I have, even though feminists hate my guts, is I feel like I represent real women in that worldview better than most, because ultimately what I see over and over and over again from liberal progressive scumbags and from the liberal atheist mind and from the feminist mind is that they are antinatalist, they hate children, and they hate the elderly, and they mock them incessantly,
Oh wow.
constantly, all the time, nonstop. I would say those are the two, if I had to really think about it, the two biggest red flags. Any type of feminist who does any mockery of actual motherhood, that's the biggest red flag. I would run the other direction.
Why did you have to start that with feminist before? Doesn't feminist just someone who wants equality between two genders? I'm gonna
where the
start something crazy.
That's where the mindset
but
stems
What
from.
they-
Wait, can you say that one more time?
doesn't
So-
feminist just mean equality between the two genders?
Is
Or
that what that
That's
means,
what it's
though?
the definition. In,
Sure, I'll grant
like,
the definition.
modern-
Is that what it means?
I'm a poli-sci student. Yes,
Sure.
in our classes it means that someone who's
Equality,
advocating-
how?
Legal equality, social equality.
So what's social equality?
It would require a lot of different determinants.
Like the draft? Would that be social equality?
Are there any
I
feminists?
just wanted to ask you. I was asking you why
I'm,
you
and
had to
I'm giving
classify
you
feminists.
an example.
No, you're asking
of
me
how,
more questions.
Of how, well, through the question, it gives you the example of how you can see where feminists in the one side of their mouth will say that we want social equality. Now, the other side of their mouth really are not striving for actual social equality. What they're striving for is supremacy, female supremacy. And this is why you constantly see the victimhood, and I see it time and time again, of what I call Schrodinger's feminists, which is I'm an empowered boss bitch, I'm awesome, but the patriarchy's oppressing me. It's like, well, it can't be both. Either the patriarchy's oppressing you or you're a badass boss bitch CEO. Like, which one is it?
I wouldn't say the patriarchy is legally oppressive, but I'd say there are societal norms and standards that impact women on their daily lives.
Oh, like
that
what?
fundamentally impact how they act.
Yeah, like what?
Knowing that men play chess and women play checkers. Now I'm scared. Now I'm scared to go talk to a man because they play chess. And now I think I'm not good enough. I have imposter syndrome. Maybe that's my fault for not having a dad.
Keep going.
Here's my question
I'm
to
confused
you.
as to
Do
your-
you know any feminists that are pro-life? Are feminists pro-life?
Personally, I'm sure I don't know any
No,
personally.
they're
but I'm sure there might be.
usually pro-abortion. They're usually for people being able to have abortion. So
Yeah.
when he's talking about women that display cruelty towards children and
Antinatalism.
even prenatal babies
good
in the
point,
womb. It is relevant to say feminists because we know that the feminists are the loudest about aborting unborn babies, and many of them I've literally debated on the streets talk about thinking that it's okay to abort full-term babies. Okay, so when you have women, I talked to a feminist who had literally had babies being eaten by alligator earrings hanging off of her ears, and talking about how wonderful it was to abort all these babies. And I think that it's relevant to talk about feminism because those people are the loudest about being able to abort babies.
I don't think that comes from a place of disliking children or holding animosity towards children. I think it's more saying, as a woman, I shouldn't be tied down to this one outcome of raising a family and having a child.
Is that because
is that attack your children?
It's all me.
It's putting yourself before the life of a child.
But is that because of the fear of having to take on the responsibility of the child alone, as opposed to getting the support from the father?
Maybe let's say I got pregnant tomorrow. I forgot to take my birth control. Look at me, premarital sex. What a slut. Okay, yeah, but this is just a theoretical. Let's say I got pregnant. You guys would all want me to have it. What about I want to go to law school. I'm a poli-sci major. Okay, but what's wrong with having a
this is the point. I'm telling you, this is the point to the red flag.
So,
what I'm saying is that the fact that all I heard is me, also me.
Well, a man would be able to do that and not receive any backlash for it and go to law school and finish law school.
Do you want the answer or not?
Go for it.
So when you go me, I, me, I'll kill the kid because then I can get the shit that I want.
Yeah.
We think of that as being fucking monstrous. We think of it, we think of it literally akin to a monster. A monster is the type of person who would say, I'm going to do shit that I want, give myself the life that I want, get all the material gains that I want, at the expense of killing children. I literally cannot define a monster better than that.
I wish my mom had aborted me. She was a horrible mother. She did not have the money. She did not have the money to take care of me.
Now the truth comes out, doesn't it?
No, it's not because I'm suicidal, but I just wanted to make
Well, that's really strange.
I just wanted to make a really aggressive point.
You wish your mom would have aborted you.
Can you let me finish my sentences?
But you don't want to unalive yourself. It's so weird.
No. I don't. Okay, but what I'm saying is my mom was not capable financially of raising a child at that time, and it gave me a way shittier life that I have to deal with every day. Oh, I know, me. Yeah, but if she had, she was old, whatever. But like, if someone who was super young, who's not financially responsible yet.
Now, what if your mother had you, but she put you
40?
No, what if she had you, but it put you up for adoption, and you were adopted by a very well-off mother and father that gave you
that would have been great, but she wasn't going to do that, and she didn't. I'm saying if I was about to have a kid right now, I would have a horrible life. So I think it would be better off for everyone. Not to mention the issues with the foster care system.
Even if you put it. I
have a friend who's been in the foster care system.
Then why wouldn't you just okay?
She got adopted.
Let me get this right.
She did not like it.
You don't want to unalive yourself right now, right?
No.
Right now.
Well, I mean,
because you have a good life, right?
Okay. I have a question.
Well, hang on. Let me finish the line of inquiry. Do you have a good life now?
Do you want to talk to my therapist?
And that's why you don't. Of course you have a therapist, but I'm guessing you don't want to unalive yourself?
I mean, I'm here.
Oh, that doesn't answer the question.
Okay, I didn't mean actually like I wish I was dead. I was saying
But that's what that would be.
In some circumstances, abortion would be better.
Yeah, I get it. But in your case, you said, I wish my mother would have aborted me. This is, I wish my mother would have killed me so I wasn't alive today because my childhood was rough.
Not just that, but yeah, sure.
Well,
I would say that.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
In your example, when you said, because I want to go to law school and if tomorrow I got pregnant, you made the choice to engage in sex, correct? In this hypothetical. We're just talking about this theoretical that you set up. But don't you think it's a bit absurd to make the most vulnerable person in that entire dynamic the most responsible for your actions and the actions that you engaged in?
The most vulnerable person being the baby, the egg that has not even, the semen has not even reached it.
Well, if you have an abortion, that
wouldn't be an abortion.
That's not.
What if I took a morning after pill?
What if
that's
you did?
not an abortion.
That's not the theory. That's not the.
But would that be chill vibes with all y'all?
That's not. That's not what we're. That's not what we're.
Okay.
That's not even what you post.
Let's grant all of those. Okay. At what point is the cutoff for you to abort?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not. I'm a poli-sci major. I'm not a medical. So then who cares?
Right. So then it's a distinction with no merit. If you can't tell us when life.
So then why did you say it's an egg?
If you can't tell us when life begins.
Okay, when the medical people say the heart, whatever is important, I don't know.
The medical people don't tell you when life begins. They can't. It's an ontological question.
There's something in the law that's been demarcated.
Yeah, you know when human life is agreed on for beginning by all scientists on planet Earth?
What is that?
Conception.
By scientists?
By all scientists, yes.
Take a biology course.
That is light.
That's human life. There's no way around it.
The moment of conception, when the sperm meets the egg, there's literally a flash of light that happens.
Could we get a camera on that?
It's been documented.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
And what's your name, by the way?
Renee,
beautiful name.
I don't know. It's a big pile on. Probably move it on here in a second.
I just want to say, first of all, I'm glad you're here. I have to say that because I I really feel sad that you've said that just now. But my question was, you mentioned the financial aspect. Do you think if men took accountability for their actions with the women, both taking accountability that for the child that they've created, that they've helped create, do you think that more women would feel the need to do this? Because you mentioned only a financial concern. Men don't have choice.
They have to take accountability.
I'm just saying.
I didn't mean financially was the only thing. I also think my parents were just both mentally unfit to have a child at all, which I don't want you guys to take that too seriously when I'm like, I wish I was aborted. That's obviously like a talking point. It's obviously a...
Was it a talking point?
Yeah, it was. Because
then when I followed up with you, do you want to be alive right now? You're like, nah, well...
Because I'm funny and people in this day and age don't want to live sometimes. I don't know. But what's it called?
I mean, that sounds...
To answer her question...
Sounds kind of miserable.
It's a joke. To answer her question...
Sounds like cope, not a joke.
I don't mean... My point that I was trying to make was that there are some circumstances where I just think the parents should not be parents at all. Like, it would just be worse for anything that was born, like, regardless. Like, I just think, like, maybe I don't mean, like, I don't want to live at all, but, like, I would have rather been born to a million other different parents, and I know that's impossible, and it's a lottery.
Yeah, but
what
I don't understand why these are exclusive positions.
So
you can have horrible parents after the baby is born, and you know what happens if there's horrible parents? Kid gets taken out and placed with another family.
Right.
Same
Not
exact
always.
thing that she just suggested.
Yeah, sometimes it's like just bad.
But here's the thing: you can't always, you can't put an always on it. It's like saying, well, we shouldn't outlaw murder because there's always going to be some murders. Yeah, there are. There's nothing you can do to mitigate 100% everything. That's not relativism. It's the opposite of relativism. It's not even pragmatism. It's recognizing objective reality. That sure, even if you outlaw murder, there's still going to be murders. But these are not exclusive positions. I understand saying, well, you can have bad parents. Yeah, that's true. What does that have to do with aborting children?
Maybe some parents know that they would be bad parents at the time.
They don't have to keep the child.
Why wouldn't the child for adoption?
Why wouldn't the foster care system is awful?
No, adoption is not the same as the foster care system.
Okay, maybe they don't have anyone who's ready to adopt.
Why are people who are not prepared to take the consequences of their actions having sex to begin with? Because then you are blaming the child for the consequences of your actions, like the miss over there said, that you're putting the full onus of the consequence on that unborn baby because you chose to be irresponsible. That is a reactionary response. And I would say that a man is just as dangerous as a woman who decides to abort the child. But it in no way would benefit you to even be with somebody, a man especially, who tells you, yeah, I want to kill my own child. That man can't be trusted to take care of you either. So in what way, for what reason does it make sense to punish a child because you choose to be irresponsible in your own day-to-day life and that man? That is the most feminine thing I could
Maybe you're not punishing the child, you're saving the child.
By murdering it.
Yes. By the life it would have had if it was born.
Wait,
you're saving it from the life it would have had if it was born.
How benevolent of you.
Yes.
That's why this is why the benevolent patriarchy must exist. Because if we left it to people like you say, the most benevolent thing we could do is fucking kill you. That's literally your line of logic.
If there were better welfare societal systems in place, maybe.
Mm-hmm. How about responsible men
for children?
It's just that we don't have enough welfare.
Yeah.
Which demographic would you thought, if you had to think about it, takes up a huge majority of welfare funds?
Single mothers.
Oh, I thought we just didn't have enough of a welfare system, but they're getting tons of cash from the welfare system. What the fuck are you talking about?
Didn't the welfare system actually incentivize the degradation of the family
Especially
unit?
in particular communities, yes.
Yeah.
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $200. I cannot think of anything less worthy of joking about the tending unborn life. We cannot choose our parents, but we can choose our path. Feminism has failed you. The patriarchy is here to help.
I feel enlightened.
Yo, Grid 1, good to see you in the chat, man. Thank you very much. While we have that in, we do have a couple other chats. Let me just get through the chats, and then we'll continue on with some of the convo here. So, Grid 1, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. We have Pico. B, love to see Andrew on. Ladies, if on OF and want to move on, start developing other skills now. You can make millions later if you start now. Sex is the easiest way to do it, but it's not good long term. Okay, thank you, Pico. Appreciate it, man.
True.
We have Rose coming in. The blonde InfoWars is preaching Sky Daddy principles to the locusts from the pit, casting pearls to swine. I will restore the years the locusts have eaten. The book of Joel is great. Do you have a quick response?
I would say that. I would say that.
Big Sass Energy donated $200.
Oh, Big Sass
Any
Energy.
other girl in any other country would be so happy to be in this girl's shoes. The fact this girl thinks it preferable to be aborted shows the level of ungratefulness despite a difficult upbringing.
I would.
Well, don't worry, she's going to talk to her therapist about it.
Hold on, but do you want to respond to that really quick?
Yeah, maybe I am a little ungrateful to my parents because they had me at a time. And in general, I'd just say I'm ungrateful to my parents. They shouldn't have had me. But that doesn't mean I'm ungrateful for where I am. I still am very happy with my circumstances.
Well,
with
then
the
they
fact
should
that
have
I'm
had
alive. Okay, yeah, I get what you mean.
That makes no sense.
Okay,
It's illogical.
I understand the argument that you're making. Okay, you ended up fine. Look at you, you're fine. You ended up great, you're happy. But the thing is that didn't need to happen. I didn't need to go through all the things
what needs to happen?
Like, I could have been happy anyways with, like, a normal set of circumstances. And that wasn't even, like, the
if
main
you're talking
point of
about
my
need,
argument.
though, think about what you're saying. If you're talking about need, it also doesn't need to happen that you abort a child. That doesn't need to happen. So when you use an example of need, right, this is like some type of imperative. This does not need to happen. Nothing needs to happen, right?
Yeah.
But the point, I don't even know how that's a point in your favor to say it didn't need to happen. So what? So what if it didn't need to happen?
Okay,
Aborting a kid doesn't need to happen.
Maybe I can say that all of that rough shit made for better character development in my life. But, like, fundamentally, wouldn't you agree that, like, if a couple is, like, about to have a child, you would probably tell them no. Okay, maybe you don't want the abortion to happen because that's just so evil, but you'd probably tell them no if they're in really shitty financial, emotional circumstances beforehand.
That's kind of a eugenics perspective.
That would be so.
I wouldn't
what
say
you're
that's
saying,
a eugenics
How is
perspective.
it not?
It's
If you're saying
bizarre.
people who are financially suitable should only be the ones to have children, so people in poverty should
No.
have children?
You can. I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
People should be able to have the choice if they know that they're going to
Let me
not
be as
able to
charitable as I
take
can.
care
But
of
to
your
your view.
arguments keep coming back to finances, and that's why I said at the end of the day, if men were accountable for their actions as
yes,
well
it
as
is
the
a eugenics
women,
argument,
and they
but
took
still.
accountability for their children, and they protected and provided for the woman and child, and you were able to continue to live your life unimpeded, then what would be your argument for abortion? Because the main thing that you continuously come back to is finances. So if the men were taking care of you and you were both responsible, then what's the issue?
I have a question. I know you want to
Hang on.
your
Let
studies.
one question
really
at a
quick,
time so she can respond, though.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, you wanted to be charitable, right?
Yeah, I was just saying. Now I'm doing it. I was just saying to be as charitable to your view as possible, which is I think that this is just your argument. If two people came to you and said we're thinking about having a child, but we're in all sorts of rough shape financially.
Big Sass Energy donated $200. You're more than fine. You live in the greatest country in the greatest time in the history of the world. Travel to other countries, get some goddamn perspective.
Damn, I know, I'm chilling. I'm just saying.
So anyway, you're just saying, would you advise them to, maybe wait to have children?
Yeah.
Sometimes, but sometimes not. Like, what if we took their age into account? We're like, okay, she's 33, he's 32. Then I wouldn't advise it. I'd be like, well, maybe things would be a little rough. But yeah, you probably should have them now if you're going to have them. But if you're talking about 21, 22 years old, sure, you might say, hey guys, you could wait a couple of years till, you have your feet under the ground a little bit better. Nobody's adverse to any of that. And it's not an argument in your favor for killing kids. Even if we grant the entire worldview, how in the world does it help you with your argument of taking out the kid? I don't get it.
You're not killing a kid. You're preventing it from being born. That's my view.
So
I know that's not y'all's view.
So
let
me just make sure I get this right. Scott Peterson viciously murders his wife, kills unborn baby, right? Goes to prison for double homicides. You let him off on the one homicide, right? His unborn baby.
What? Oh, one homicide instead of double homicide? Yeah, sure.
You would exempt him from the one homicide?
They're getting a life sentence anyway, yes.
Okay, let's say he's only going to get 15 years.
Okay, then
what age do you think?
I just want to make sure we're clear. Hang on, let her finish. Almost done.
That it is in the law.
Almost done. I just want to finish this.
Okay, so 24
almost done.
weeks.
Yeah.
Just want to be clear. 9-month pregnant, stabbed in the stomach.
Okay, then that was double homicide. If it's past the legal
What's the what if the legal thing is 8 months?
I don't know the law like
what if
that.
it's
I'm
8?
sorry.
What if it's 8? That's why don't muddy the water here for just a second. Let's say it's 8 months. Let's say 8 months. They say you can legally do it. Let's just say you can legally do it up to 9 months. There's legislation in places for that.
No.
No? Well, then when?
24 weeks.
Okay, so 24 weeks. It's 24 weeks in a day, then it's a double homicide. But it's 23 weeks. Nope. Then he gets away with it.
That's how it is with every law.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, but the point that you just tried to make is how every law has to be interpreted, like strictly. Yes, it would be single homicide before and double homicide after.
No, laws are interpreted on a case by case, but that aside, even assuming we were charitable to that, if you can't tell us when life even begins, how the fuck should we care about your opinion on abortion anyway?
I just said 24 weeks.
Because she told you that. But you couldn't tell us why it starts at 24 weeks.
I didn't say that's when life began.
You guys told me it was that conception with the light explosion.
I did not say that life began at 24 weeks.
When you get too many heads in the cookie jar with one conversation, it becomes this. I'm just saying, if we look at it, you would say that guy should get exempted from one of the murders. If he kills unborn kid. I just want to hear you say it.
This is not helping your point at all.
Well, then just go ahead and concede to the point.
A woman should be able to end a child before 24 weeks if she's not ready.
Yeah, why 24
to have
weeks?
the child? Because that's what the scientists say is
which ones?
About socially
The ones you just made up? You didn't know when life began 2 minutes ago.
Which ones are they? Which ones are they?
2 minutes ago,
the scientists that say
you didn't know anything about the science of abortion.
You're scarecrowing right now. Or no, what's the fallacy? It's the one where you're attacking straw man. Yeah,
what's the straw man?
You're attacking my character for not knowing the scientific start date of when a baby is
No. I'm attacking
considered.
your direct position that you said I don't know when this begins. Did you not say that?
No, you're not. You're attacking the fact that I don't know.
So okay,
you're trying to make me look.
You literally
like I don't
just
know
said
things.
I
Which
don't
is true,
know.
I don't.
So then that's your position. How's that a straw man?
What? No, I said 20. Now I'm saying 24 weeks. You were saying why should we trust you when you don't know the actual scientific date? That's a straw man.
Based on 24 weeks, right? You say 24 weeks. Why does life begin in 24 weeks?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. So then, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm straw manning you.
Okay, well, you have to do the research yourself. Sorry.
If you took a biology class, don't they say that basically life starts at fertilization?
No.
It starts
and
at
the last time I took a bio class
at
was my sophomore year of high school.
But that's not what the argument is.
I do have to move things on. We've got a lot of chats to get through. So let me get through some of these chats. We can get back to it.